Media TV, and again, please like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to Dudley Thompson Live. And in today's program, we're looking at the PNP protest against the protest action in Hero Circle against the appointment of FID of Dennis Chung. And also, we look at the Pickers Guild Committee, what it stands for then, and also we look at the party standings. Earlier, we look at the leader standings. But in today's show, we look at the party standings. But right now, let's now take you now to what happened yesterday at Hero Circle with the People's National Party. And they held a protest action against the appointment of Dennis Chung to the office of the Chief National Officer of the FID. We're hearing now from the party General Secretary, Dayton Campbell, and he spoke about that appointment.
Justify. We ask our members. First, Julian asked in the committee if they inform those persons who are under investigation, and they said yes. We asked our members, and they said they were not contacted. A little after that, members from the media asked the Prime Minister. He said he searched far and wide, and he came up empty. Few days after that, he put a gag order on his members from speaking about it. In a few months after that, he was asked why he's not certified. He said he doesn't know. That was November of 2023. When the annual report came out in 2024, we saw where the number moved from 6 to 8 persons. And then a few months after that, we saw the report of the Prime Minister. And other persons here will go into detail as to what was in that report. It led to the Prime Minister suing or taking the Integrity Commission to court. One, to try and force them to sign his declaration, and two, to get rid of the law that defines illicit enrichment. All along, there is one accountant that said nothing is wrong with what the Prime Minister has done. And the report was referred to be further investigated by the FID. Now we are seeing where the very individual that said that nothing was wrong is being asked to lead the body that is tasked to investigate the Prime Minister. What can go so? 2 years ago.
That was Dr. Dayton Campbell, and he was speaking at the PNP's protest against the appointment of Dennis Chung to the FID. Party leader Mark Golding also spoke at the protest.
Each and every one, all supporters, all Jamaicans who have come here to National Hero Circle this morning to join in this peaceful protest. We're meeting to defend a very critical principle. We're meeting to defend the governance of this country in a way that is consistent with our Constitution and our democratic traditions. The Prime Minister has problems. The Integrity Commission has investigated him, and they are not satisfied with their findings. They have not been able to certify his annual declarations as being in good order. They have referred the matter for further investigation to the Financial Investigations Division, a critical law enforcement investigative agency. There's a whole lot of issues at stake. There's a question of the 28 bank accounts. There's a question of the cash deposits from anonymous sources to his bank account of millions of dollars. There's over $470 million of flows moving between his various accounts in many thousands of transactions. There's a the fact that his companies which are involved in those transactions file nil returns with the tax department. And there is the fact that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit entity that goes out and solicits donations for worthy causes, which is under his control, provided resources to his personal company to make financial investments on his behalf. All of these are serious allegations. And these are matters which the person who they have just appointed to head the FID, the Financial Investigations Division, has said there's nothing untoward or wrong. You cannot have a man who's defending the person under investigation being put in charge of the agency that is tasked with doing the investigation. There's a clear conflict of interest. There is manifest bias. And furthermore, the very requirements for the post were deliberately watered down so as to facilitate the outcome of his appointment. Each and every one.
That was the PNP's party leader, Mark Golding, actually. And he was speaking at Hero Circle at the PNP protest. And some supporters of the PNP were there at the protest. And they have no clue as to what the FID is. Let's go.
In the advert that the
no clue.
Saying Dennis Chung and the FID. What do you know about the FID?
Well, I don't know. I don't know but you know, I'm here for a change.
He cannot lead the FID. He doesn't have the qualifications to lead the FID.
Why I said that? What do you understand about the agency itself?
I don't understand about the agency, but all I know is that the man only can account.
I know it was an organization that was formed to politicians to declare the assets true. Show those supporters.
That's the Integrity Commission, though, not the FID. You just mentioned one.
I'm not sure. That's it.
Why Chung must?
Because he's not qualified.
Why do you say the agency is corrupt?
No, they don't investigate no crime. They investigate corruption.
That aside was about and the function.
That was some persons at the protest, and they have no idea, no clue about what is the FID, and they're there to be a part of the demonstration. All right, and a part of the PNP's issue is that they're under the assumption that Chung's appointment is a political appointment. They assume that with no evidence or no proof. It's only assumption. And they also said that they took out the criteria, which says that you must have at least 12 years of law enforcement experience to be considered for selection. And let's don't get the facts. And if you go back to some of the past head of FID, at least 4 persons who head that organization, they had no law enforcement background. Yes. Let's go. 2008, we had Sean Crooks. He was a public servant, an accountant, and an economist. No law enforcement background. From 2008 to 2010, we had Pamela Fawkes, and she was a chartered accountant. Also, no law enforcement background. We have Robin Sykes with a law degree, and also a chartered accountant, and also no law enforcement background. And Aldine Tucker, the last one, a telecommunication specialist, and also a degree in computer science. At least these 4 persons who head the FID, they had no law enforcement background. And some may argue that the Jamaica Labour Party is using their own fat to fry the PNP. Why do I say that? Look at the Pickers Hill Committee that was formed back in about 1974 by the PNP, named after a young PNP member then, Bobby Pickersgill, who's now retired. That committee was set up by Michael Manley as a vetting accreditation committee to vet and accredit persons who are applying for jobs in the public service and the civil service. And to get those jobs, then you have to be saying socialism or be a comrade to get jobs those under the Pickett Committee then. And so the PNP, having this background in the past, are now assuming that although Dennis Chung was appointed by the JLP, and are assuming that his appointment is a political appointment. And we can take you, he was appointed by the Office of the Service Commission, not by the JLP. And we can give you one history. Bruce Golding, then was Prime Minister Bruce Golding, then in 2007, he opposed the appointment of Professor Stephen Vassiani to the post of Solicitor General. It was appointed, and he asked the Governor General to rescind when the committee did not agree to rescind the appointment, he marked it GG to dissolve the Service Commission. And then Mrs. Simpson Miller, the opposition leader, she was upset because she was not consulted in that decision. And under the law, under Jamaica's constitution, section 124, section 5, states that the Prime Minister is required to consult with the opposition leader before asking the Governor General to discharge a member of the PSC. And Mr. Gordon said that time that they were discharged on a case of misconduct. So the PNP, having that background with that committee, are now of the assumption that the appointment of Dennis Chung is politically motivated. William Mafu worked with him, and he says he is a good person, and that is not a biased person.
I think we were unique from the terms in the context that I was president, he was the executive director during the transition in administrations from the PNP to the Labour Party. And then he worked closely with both. I worked closely with Dennis at the PSOJ. And as a matter of fact, I think we were unique from the terms in the context that I was president, he was the executive director during the transition in administrations from the PNP to the Labour Party. And Dennis worked closely with both governments. I'll never forget the meetings that we had with the Prime Minister, with the Partnership Council at the time, Portia Simpson Miller and her team, and then following on from that, as the new administration came in with Prime Minister Holness, it was, and I would say to you that Dennis is one of the most unbiased persons that I've ever worked with. It was, I don't know if you remember the NSWMA. At the time, I was the president of the PSOJ, and NSWMA, under the PNP, had all of the issues with the fires. Yes. And I came out very, very aggressively and said, this has to stop. And that the NSWMA needed to put somebody there as chairman and a proper board. One of my vice presidents was Butch Hendrickson. He agreed to sit on the board. And it was under the PNP administration that Dennis was appointed chairman of the NSWMA. In 2015. Right. Right. And then right before, that was right before the election. Yes. And he was maintained as chairman of NSWMA through the transition of administration. So I find it, a little disingenuous by the opposition to come out at this time and state, this is somebody that was appointed by Portia Simpson Miller to the chairman of NSWMA. I understand we're in the silly season, right? This is election time. And people would use whatever opportunity to try and create a noise or a little excitement around the election. But it's unfortunate to try and put a gentleman of Dennis's reputation on the line. I just find it very, very unfortunate.
That was William Mahfoud, the chairman of Wesinco, saying that Dennis Chung is actually not a biased person, and he said that felt disingenuous for the PNP to be taking this road when it comes to the appointment of Dennis Chung. All right, the JLP senator, that is Senator Marlon Morgan, outlined the criteria for the job.
Incumbent, in other words, the person who will be appointed to serve as Chief Technical Director at FID will guide the strategic, operational, and administrative policies, programs, and systems of the FID in combating money laundering, terrorist financing, proliferation financing, corruption, and recovering assets obtained from crime or used in the commission of crime. And they go on to say here, listeners, the incumbent, in other words, the person who will head FID, is the chief policy advisor to the political directorate on issues of financial crimes and formulates appropriate relationships to satisfy Jamaica's international obligations. As I said a while ago, the advert set out key responsibilities. Yes, it also went on to outline required knowledge, skills, and competencies. And at that section, it says here, and I'm going to read for your benefit, the required knowledge, skills, and competencies of the person who is to head FID. The first one is excellent written and verbal communication skills, sound knowledge of corporate planning procedures, excellent problem-solving skills, sound knowledge of financial and budgetary framework, be knowledgeable of the Government of Jamaica procurement guidelines, expert knowledge of law enforcement, legislations, binding agreements, strong resilience with an ability to withstand external pressures, proven track record of accomplishments in the area of national security, public administration, or finance. So national security is not the be-all and end-all. It said, and I'm going to repeat this particular bullet point, it says here, proven track record of accomplishments in the area of national security, public administration, or finance. And as we know, Dennis Chung has distinguished himself not only in finance, but also public administration. Let me go on.
You heard there from Marlon Morgan. Here's one of the criteria for the job. And it says the law enforcement is not it's an honor or not a criteria, as you heard here, based on the ad that was played for the job. All right, so hoping to put this issue to rest. As I said to you earlier, it appears that the PNP is frying the JLP with their own fat, because in the past they had the Pickersgill committee that appointed persons to jobs like civil servant and public service. And in those days, back in 1924, you have to be saying socialism and be a comrade to be considered in those days. So apparently, the PNP with that background, assuming that Dennis Chung's appointment is political, but Dennis Chung was appointed not by the JLP, but by the Public Service Commission, and the members were approved by both PNP and JLP. And Dennis Chung served, as you heard, he served on different boards under both PNP and JLP, under Portia Simpson Miller and under Bruce Golding. So this man served across political borders. So that's why it's called this big hullabaloo, what the JLP is doing at the moment. All right, moving along now to the Blue Dot poll. Yes, the Blue Dot poll looked at the favorability ratings of both Andrew Holness and Mark Golding, and also of PNP and JLP. And the big question is, what are Jamaicans saying about a third term for Andrew Holness? Don't go, don't move, stick by. You'll be surprised. All right. We look at the ratings here by both both PNP and JLP, favorability ratings for Andrew Holness, the positive and negative and the neutral for Andrew Holness. The persons who are saying he's doing a good job is 42% of the persons polled in the blue dot poll are saying that the Prime Minister Andrew Holness is doing a good job. 31% saying he's doing a poor job. That gave him a net favorability ratings of 11%. Now for Mark Golding, who will be in the PNP, the opposition leader for the last 4 years, when it comes on to doing a good job, 30% of those who polled said Mark Golding is doing a good job. Only 30%. Doing a poor job, 24%. That give him a net ratings of 3%. Alright. When it comes now to both political parties, both PNP and JLP, favorability ratings for the parties. The JLP ratings is 39% for the Jamaica Labour Party. They're saying they're doing a good job as government. 31% saying the party doing a poor job. And those who are uncommitted is 30%. Yes? Again, 39% of those who polled saying the Jamaica Labour Party is doing a good job. 31% says a poor job. And 30% are saying they have no comment. Alright? And that give them up 8% ratings. On the PNP now, in opposition, 30% saying doing a good job. Right? And 89% saying doing a poor job. And those who are uncommitted have no comment is a high of 41%. Yes, this is shocking. 41% of those who polled have no opinion on the PNP, while 31% have no opinion on the JLP. But 31% say the JLP doing a poor job, and doing a good job for them is 39%. And for the PNP, doing a poor job is 29%. And those who say the PNP is doing a good job is 30%. This is according to the blue dot poll, right? It's not my poll at all. The blue dot poll. Alright? Let's now look at the ratings for both Andrew Holness and Mark Golding over a 1-year span. Let's go now. Let's start with let's go now to Mark Golding and Andrew Holness, the ratings. In the rating for Mark Golding and Andrew Holness, February of last year, Mark Golding was 27% ratings. February last year, Andrew Holness was 37%. That's February last year. September last year, Mark Golding was 30%. Yes? In February last year, he was 27%. September last year, 30%. The Prime Minister, February last year, 37%. And September last year, 39%. February this year, Mark Golding dipped from 30% last year to 25% this year. Blessing from Dennis Singh. Yeah, man. Blessing Dennis Singh. Bless up. Welcome to the program, Dennis Singh. Yeah, man. Bless. Alright, so we are now the blue dot poll, looking at both the ratings of both PNP leader Mark Golding and Prime Minister Andrew Holness from over a 1-year period. In February of this year, Andrew Holness dipped from 39% to by 2.37%. Welcome now to Annette Allen. The Annette Allen there, good afternoon there to you. So it dipped again by that percentage. And look here now. May of this year, Mark Golding went up from 25% to 30% in ratings, while the Prime Minister jumped from 30% to 42%. So that's how the person now see both political leaders. When it comes now to the big question now, the big question that everybody is asking, do you think Andrew Holness deserves a third term? That question was asked last year. No, it was asked in February of this year. 48% says no. No third term for Andrew Holness. 48. And those who said yes, 52%. That's February this year. And come on to this question. Does Andrew Holness deserve a third term? 48% says no. 52% said yes. The same question was asked May last month. Yes, it was asked last month. And it's 50 across the board. Yes, 50% across the board. 50 says no, 50 says yes. So, this brings the question out. Despite the Prime Minister bragging about his achievements over the past years in office, that don't guarantee votes on election day. Despite the fact that, I will say today in the last update, based on the Blue Dot poll, the findings that most of the Jamaicans who are uncommitted are now leaning towards the JLP based on the Blue Dot findings. But they're also saying that leaning to the JLP don't necessarily mean they'll vote JLP on election day. But what they're seeing on the ground at the moment, their tendency is thinking that, hey, look like JLP are going to do it. But what they're seeing now on election day voting is a different story. So what's happening now in Jamaica now is people are battling for the minds, the narrative. There's a war going on now in the politics for the mind of Jamaican people. Is who can have the people singing their narrative to get the nod on election day. Right now, Andrew Holness wants Jamaican to see what he's doing in terms of crime is going down. Also, Jamaica at the lowest rate of employment in history, 3.4%. And also, debt to GDP reduced from 120% to 68%. And also, the spark is going on at the moment. These are what Andrew Holness wants Jamaicans to focus on. That his narrative. On the other hand now, the PNP is saying Andrew is corrupted because for the past 2 years, his tax reduction cannot be certified by the FID. That's what the PNP want Jamaicans to be focusing on. And that times are tough and people can't afford the basic food item. You go to the hospital, you have to sleep on bed, sleep on floor, and all those things. So that's what the PNP wants the people to be focusing on as why they need a change. What is going on now is the battle for the minds of the people. And the question is, who will control, and I can say control, who will win the minds of the people? As it stands right now, Andrew has the advantage because, as we told you earlier, those who are in their group as the uncommitted are now leaning towards the JLP. But, it's a big but. It don't mean that they'll vote JLP on election day. It don't mean that. But they're thinking about going JLP at that time. But sometimes the popularity cannot, but sometimes being popular with election don't translate into vote. One of the biggest example, Michael Manley was leading Edward Seaga in terms of popularity in 1980. Yes, Michael Manley has the biggest crowd in Sam Sharp Square, 1980, and declared 100 strong cannot be wrong. That was 1980. Election day 1980, October 3rd, 1980, Michael Manley lost then by the biggest landslide in Jamaican history, 51-9. Despite his popularity, he lost by the biggest landslide in Jamaica's history then, 51-9. The only thing the people win that year was their safe seats. They lost everything except their safe seats in 1980. And that election also had a history. That was the first and the only time in Jamaican history one political party got over 500,000 votes. Seaga 1980. Despite Michael Manley's popularity was ahead of Edward Seaga. But when it comes to election day, it's a different story. So right now, Andrew Holness is no popular than Mark Golding. But it don't necessarily mean guaranteed votes on election day. On the PNP side now, the PNP need to do some political work if they want to close the gap on Mark Golding. Need to put in a hard political work and not hoping that some big scandal of a boss and force Andrew out of office are they going prematurely. PNP has to do the hard political work. Right now, despite the do that poll is showing that Andrew Holness seems to be getting some results in terms of the crime going down, the poverty decreasing, unemployment at a record low, but that don't guarantee a third term. Don't guarantee a third term. But yet still, the PNP, if the PNP still need to do some work in order to close that gap on the GLP. Yeah, man, because we look at the figures again. Mark Golding, 27% ratings. I think we have a caller here. Hello, you're live. Hello, you're live on air.
Hello?
Hello, you're live.
Hello?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. First name?
My first name? Annette.
Oh. How are you? Welcome to the program again.
Yes. Not too bad.
I guess.
Thanks for having me.
Huh?
Yes, thanks for having me again.
And yes, you're always welcome.
Yes.
Your take.
Yesterday I was.
Yeah.
Yes, yesterday I was really, when I heard about the demonstration, I really stepped up to really see what would have, taken place.
Yes.
And I was in shock because when I look and I see Peter Phillips of all person, Peter Phillips in the company of Bunting, Dayton, and all of those risers who rip him apart to reach the top.
Wow.
Rip him apart and take over the party. Mash up PNP party, turn it in a risers, Tapanaris cult organization. Peter Phillips stand up in the midst there, could have hardly contain himself. Like sea turtle. Did they talk about corruption and this and that? Peter Phillips should run when he see the word corruption. PNP should run when they see or hear the word corruption. They should be the last to talk about corruption. And I know me can't understand. Dennis Chung work across the board in the two party, PNP
and JLP.
Why under God's hurt? No, you must get up, compete. Hear the man in two. Because you not get the chance to put Because I heard they were planning, as Steve McGregor, they want to give Steve McGregor or Hyman, they want to put in a FID if they should become government.
But the thing about law enforcement is not a must criteria now. It's an or. It's not,
no, man, they believe that. They believe that in every organization, remember Aluma Asomba tell us they must have a mole in there.
Yes, I remember. She said she put
they must have a mole in there. Because it is as plain as day. Mr. Thompson, I said it the other day and I will say it again. Where is the $31 million international forensic report that taxpayers pay for? We paid for it. Why can't we see that report?
What I find surprising, PNP is not calling for it. I find that surprising.
No, because PNP is not calling for it. Civil society is not calling for it because it is not in their interest. It is not. What in the report now go help them to hammer home them points. So that is it, you know. So they don't have no interest in it. They don't want to see it.
I mean, you spend $31 million on the report and no call.
Right? And $31 million.
And the same money was spent on a drill set and accessories. I say big halabaloo.
Thank you very much. The same money was spent on a drill for the hospital.
The people. It's a drill set. It's a drill with 159 attachments. Not a drill only. So get the facts out there. That was a drill. Yes. Drill and attachments.
And attachments. And the same PNP, then you see why definitely I could have never, as an undecided voter, go and vote for the person. I could have never. They stick me stomach to the core. The same $31 million was spent on a drill set. Right. And PNP get up every day campaigning about hospital. And who are dead pan stretch and who are dead pan this and who are dead pan that.
31 million spent on the report and no call.
What is in this report that the PNP led by the IC don't want the public know? What is in this report?
We need to call the report to become public because we need to call that to become public because maybe something here they don't want anybody to hear or see.
And Mr. Thompson, why is it that the risers are so afraid of Dennis Chung?
Good question. I'm not even sure.
Why is it all of a sudden Dennis Chung become the risers' Tapanari's worst enemy? They don't want to see him none at all. And when I see Peter Bunting come out and attacking Dennis Chung, I said, yes, this is the real risers. They would tear you to pieces to get where they want to go. They would scorch the earth.
You remember because the committee? Remember that one?
Yes. I was trying from yesterday to get at least not maybe that I was trying, but the way how to me look like everybody don't want to find out what is this report. You have to going, and it take you so long because to me it's like GP chat load. Everybody want to find out what is in this report.
Right.
And I am saying there is no cry from civil society. We are calling on Jeanette Calder, Carol Nasty, Daniel Archer.
No, that's Carol Narcisse.
Oh, and all of them, Professor Monroe, the lamb is so pure, but yet is the most hated man in Grenada. If you turn a Grenada right now and mention Professor Trevor Monroe name, they run you out of Grenada. The way how Grenadian people hate Trevor Monroe, and yet all of a sudden Trevor Monroe is so pure nowadays. He is as pure and white as lily.
I remember from years ago when he formed the party called the WPJ party. That was years ago.
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
from those days,
Cheverman,
WPJ.
yes, Trevor Monroe is now talking about integrity.
Yes, yes.
I heard the PNP and the Gleaner were shouting that the CIA report is coming out. And hey, what when being CIA report? Well, the CIA report dropped. PNP nobody want to see it or want to hear about it. Neither do this lady and the over the Gleaner. I don't remember her name right now. But I remember she was one who put out a tweet about wait until May the 18th when the CIA report bust. When them people in the CIA report and see where Trevor Monroe name calling up, DK Duncan, Lambert, Brown, and the whole of them, none of them want to see the report anymore. They don't want to hear nothing again about CIA report. They nobody want to see it. They abandoned the CIA report.
Wow. Well, all right. Let me ask you.
PNP talk.
Let me ask you this now. You is Jamaica's undecided voters among the 30 or 41%.
Yes.
When you spoke to persons like your peers who you know in your community about the politics, are they those who are undecided? Are they leaning to the JLP or to the PNP?
They're leaning to the JLP.
Wow.
But funny it is, Mr. Thompson, if I tell you this, my husband is a PNP activist.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what my husband said to me? He said to me, "Stay, the wife is the worst I ever see PNP."
Wow.
I don't know what is happening because he said right now, this is not PNP. He said not going out, you're going to put it in life at risk. So them your type of study we get upset them around the party. He said right now, we drop me hand until the real PNP come forward because them your type of people here. And no PNP them.
That is the common sentiment right now. The PNP has given way to Rise United.
Yesterday, when they informed my husband about the protest, because listen me, the protest was people from over the 14 parishes. Most of them come from in a Mark Golden constituency.
That's
Riverton Bump. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And God is
and if you and to
prove St. Andrew.
Yes, and to prove that most of them come from those places, look on their face and looking at them out.
Well, I saw them were there and they have no clue, no idea why they were there.
And that's why I'm so afraid because those are the ones that they've gun and ammunition when reaching at their hand.
They were there.
And they're going to step out there and kill everybody because the white man, the British man, say, look here, step up and get wicked from them. Wow. And they don't know what they must step up and get wicked from them black brothers and sisters for.
Wow.
But remember now, the slave owner said step up and get wicked from them. Mr. Thompson, I don't know how you see this, but not until Mark Golden can show, say, look here, this is my birth certificate, my ban here. Mark Golden don't ban here.
I heard that argument over about Mark Golden place of birth. But Mr. Golden kept on saying he was born in Jamaica, went to, I think, Vars Prep, Campion College, and studied overseas. He kept on saying he's a born Jamaican. So
then Mr. Thompson now, on a serious note, you is a Jamaican born, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me born a Jamaica. You're going to tell me, say, not even one classmate for Mr. Golden can come front and say, look here, we go to school together or not even nobody at all. Can't come and say, look here, me know this a brother you're from him and pick the way and they brought up and down together. Not even one person.
I heard that argument over and I said, I mean, if you went to Campion College, you must have some.
Not even one classmate. Not even one classmate.
And that's a co-ed school.
Yeah, how everybody can come up and say, look here, Andrew Onis, we know him, that's why we know him. And here's this other point, Mr. Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Mark Golden wife come from?
That's it. Mark Golden personal life is kind of under the radar, so we don't want to bring family in the politics because they kind of under the radar. No,
but the fact of the matter, Mr. Thompson, I just have to ask because remember, if Mark Golding becomes the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the wife would be our First Lady.
Yes.
Where does this mysterious First Lady would have come from? We have never heard anything about her. Never seen nothing about. You can go and Google and you see everything about Juliet Onis pop up. Where is this mysterious Sandra Golding come from?
Well, like she's a person who that in the public eye. We don't want to bring her in the public because she's not really a public person, so to speak. So we don't want to mess with the man's family. But let's stick with the politics.
Yes. All right. And when I sit and when I look and I keep on saying this over and over again, how Mark Golding cannot show us. Obama did show us the birth certificate. Show me the piece of pink birth certificate. Say, look here, see it here. Me born and grow at that the hospital. They see me piece of whole pink birth certificate here.
Well, my view on that, with the birth, until I see absolute proof that he don't born here, I will say, but I don't have no evidence saying don't born here. Because
yes, and the fact of the matter is that I have no evidence neither.
No, somebody show some I-95 farm, but when you check it out, it was photoshopped. It was not real farm, so that disqualified the whole this scenario. But nobody's able to show any evidence that he's born overseas.
Yes.
It just and again I want to make one thing clear too. Mark Golding is in Jamaica's parliament, right? And
yes.
So to be fair to Mark Golding, is in the parliament legal. Because Jamaican law states that to be in Jamaican parliament, it be since of the Commonwealth. Not a Jamaican, since of the Commonwealth. So if Mark Golding even born in England, if that is so, is in Jamaican parliament legal. Also, that people don't know, if a Jamaican right now can apply for leave of absence, go to England with a Jamaican passport, and they can test election in England to become member of parliament in England legally.
Yes.
But Jamaica need to know that also. But when it comes to Mark Golding and his place of birth, he say he's born in Jamaica, but to be frank, to be fair, I have no evidence that he's born elsewhere.
And Doggy, the reason why, I'm a sort of doubt. There is so much things that Mark Golding talk about when we check it out, not go so. You understand?
Yes.
So it is not hard for you to say, look here, see my birth certificate here, me born here. Me a born Jamaican.
Well, don't think he showed late with a Jamaican passport that he acquired about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes. So you're going to tell me then and there, you born here. And since of late, must be about 2-3 years, you acquire one Jamaican passport.
Well, he said British citizenship by descent, because his father.
No, but the fact of the matter is that you didn't tell me so you never have none. No, but you did say you never have none.
Wow.
And when pressure take you eventually come out. When it squeeze and you could not take it no longer, you come out and say yes.
Yeah, but every time by descent.
I remember Mark Golding sit in an interview and tell the interviewer, say, him go in dry line just like anybody else to get UK visa. And at the time Mark Golding sit down.
I remember that. I remember that argument. But to be frank though, Mark Golding, to me, he speaks some things that when you check it out, it don't add up. Like for instance, the Parish Council election last year.
Jesus Christ.
He went on national TV, declared that victory. When in fact the PNP lost the elections.
And until this day, he decides to him win Parish Council.
And up until this day, you have some comrades who don't fact check who don't fact check.
I don't know if I should call them comrade or comrades, because Mark Golding call them comrades, and I don't know if it's comrade they name or comrades.
Some people they don't fact check. I saw Mark Golding on TV saying the JLP 117, the PNP 17. So it's the fact that the PNP won the popular vote, the PNP won the election. But the fact is,
popular vote win election. Popular vote only go that way is if
a division tie, like Kingston tie. KCC tie, But PNP won the popular vote, so they had the right to elect the mayor because it's tie. But the parish council election, it was won by the JLP, 7-5.
Yes. And this is a problem, Mr. Thompson,
the PNP won the popular vote in that elections. But the JLP won most of the parish councils. So in fact, the JLP won the elections. And I heard Mark Gordon on TV say that the PNP won. Up until this day, I can't understand why he's saying that.
Then can you imagine if a general election is called and it is close by a 31, 32?
Well,
or even 30, or even 30, 33. You know, don't jump up and say win and cause chaos and mayhem in the place and step up and get wicked power in here.
I remember he went to Connecticut and said the polls was paid for by some businessmen.
And the poll
was commissioned by the RGR group. They commissioned the poll.
No, go so. The poll was commissioned by PNP.
No, some, not all. The last poll they commissioned, they don't release all now because the figures that's not what they were expecting.
Thank you very much, but I'm going to tell you something else.
Let's say Paul Hamilton. Yes, go ahead.
But I am going to tell you this. Where is this very shocking? Last week, not today. Me dey home. Me hear knock outside. When me look out, I saw a gentleman out there.
A poster?
So he said, if he can, I never know if he was a poster or not. He said, if he can come. So I said, yes, and he come. So he come, him introduce himself to me that he's from market research and they are doing. So I said, okay, go ahead. And Mr. Thompson, believe me to God, as I sit here, I was shocked. Me have to really turn and say to the man, say, wait, the man, you're doing a poll or you're campaigning? Every question, it's about time come.
I heard that. I saw that clip.
Every question.
So hold on. So in content, give me some example question if you can remember them.
Some of the question is if it's right now the slogans them from the PNP and
their songs and their party songs.
Yes.
I heard that.
Thank you. Me say, me have to turn one time and say to the young man, say, wait the man. Me must have to answer these questions. Him say, yes, they need an answer because they have to put in an answer. Me say, but these are foolishness. Me say, them you don't have no anything pertaining to, I think the poll would have been between the two parties. But this is a one-sided poll where you are definitely focusing on the PNP.
What I was told, why that came about, that the PNP did a poll before this one. But the result of the poll was not what they were expecting. People were saying that the poll showed that they're behind the GLP. And
believe that.
And they said what the people want from the PNP is a plan. Not the harp and the scandal, but they want to see a PNP plan. And when that came out now, Damian Crawford uploaded a plan to the PNP website. The same plan that Mark Gordon did in Parliament. Uploaded to the PNP website because they said they need a plan. The people want to see a PNP plan. They're not seeing in a plan for the PNP. So the figures is not in the PNP favor. So them come now with this little stupid poll about the time come and the songs and the jingles and
I have never seen a PNP setup.
It is not to be interpreted as Dan Anderson is doing a PNP campaign. PNP are the client, And the question that they ask is what the client want them to ask.
But if you listen to what I said, I asked the pollster, is this is this a campaign? You know what the guy turned and said to me?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the questions where me asked the guy if I could record the questions. He said to me, no. Because no, believe me. Me ready because me I wonder what is this. And the guy turned and said to me with all fairness to him, he said to me that, look here, we self-confused. He said, miss, we have nothing to do with this. These are what we get to go. So we are just doing our work.
Yes, the question was set by the client, and the client are the PNP.
Yes.
So that doesn't set the questions, set by the client, and the client is PNP. So that doesn't in a PNP campaign. They are paid to do a poll for the PNP.
But I tell you this, I've been told by by market research, because we never did know say them are done on this. Market research. And I've been polled by Blue Dots.
Blue Dot that's a different poll.
Yes, so Blue Dot is different from the market research.
Yes. It's two different polls. Yeah, two different polls, yeah.
Okay, because the Blue Dot now would have been like they are asking you questions on both JLP, PNP.
They ask like question like who which party would you vote for?
Yes.
Andrew Olisa, which leader you think did a better job? Kind of balance it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the questions that you would have gotten from Blue Dot. And then on there, when Blue Dot asks you questions, then you can pick sense from nonsense. But believe me, most of the questions that market research poll, I was like, get to it for me, because to me see they are trying to twist, they are trying to put something in, but most of everything it's about time come.
Yeah, because it's a PNP commission poll. So the PNP
time come to do this.
That's a PNP commission. All right. The Blue Dot poll now, they're more trying to get a feel of how Jamaica see PNP and JLP and Mark Gordon and Andrew Holness. That's a JLP poll. It's more get a feel of how Jamaicans see both parties. But this one now is commissioned by the PNP. So the PNP set the questions, and yeah.
Because I remember even one of the questions is that they are asking about for the PNP leaders, which if we would have preferred for them to go like. If we would like for them to be loud, boisterous, or what? Yes.
What?
If we would prefer them loud, boisterous, or so me say, why would I want somebody to be loud?
You're joking. Are you serious?
As I am dead serious.
No, that's a question. They're asking you to ask the leader to be loud, boisterous.
They're all right. All right. The question would be, and then you pick something from it, like
loud.
How would you choose a PNP leader?
Yeah.
If they are like, I don't remember if they say, but I remember loud, boisterous, calm. Yes, calm, and some other stuff in a head. So I asked the pollster, I said, loud and boisterous from man. Master, away them there go. It's about them the type of something where we really want from leaders. And guess what? I am waiting to see the questions that they are going to pose to the interviewers. They look out to see where them all put because me ask the man say because me really want to record it.
Well, I hope that poll come publicly so we can see the response from the people.
Yes.
And the polls, feedback from the Jamaican people. As you say, you were one of those who were polled. In that hearsay.
Yes.
You were polled. So this is not second-hand information. You were polled.
No, and the guy said to me that, miss, they are rushing us with this poll because we have to send it in by 12 o'clock tonight. Because I was saying to him that my household would have been here for like Monday or Sunday, and because him come about that, and him said to me, say, no, miss, if we have to finish it by 12 o'clock tonight, Saturday, the latest, because they are rushing us, they have to send it in.
But it don't really sound now.
No, because the more did they know. Me say.
The more them.
Is that Thompson?
Do the check and put together. Yeah.
This was not a poll. It was something put out definitely to set the narrative to give the PNP
Edge.
I don't know. I don't know what they are really thinking.
No, as I said earlier, what's going on in Jamaica now is the battle for the Jamaican people minds. Battle for the minds.
Yes.
Because the PNP want to put a narrative like say Jamaica and corrupted, PNP are suffer, hospital them people are sleep on bench and sleep on floor in the hospital, no beds and those things.
What sense?
And the G.
What sense of people not buying it?
That's the and you also know on the other hand now want to say why Jamaica is now looking up because crime is going down, poverty is going down, unemployment is at record low, that the GDP reduced by a much percentage, so that's the narrative that's what Andrew wants to sell. So it's a bunch for the minds. So
yes, you want
who
to
can get the
them.
minds now? Who can get the people the mind win the election? That's all it comes down
you want to stick a bit. Coming closer to this election, lots of the undecided that you see there, they're not stupid, you know.
And
they're not stupid.
I said earlier no, that Andrew one is leading in the polls, and many of the undecided is now leading towards JLP. But
we are not stupid.
But it does not necessarily mean they're going to vote JLP on election day.
Thank you very much.
Because
Thank you.
If you remember 1980, Michael Mann was more popular than Sierra 1980, you know.
Yes.
And yet still, it lose by a big landslide 1980 to Sierra.
Yes.
And the first in Jamaican history, one party got 500,000 votes. That was Sierra 1980. Despite Michael Mann was so popular.
Yes.
So the popularity
you know what?
don't necessarily translate into
does
votes.
Not. No. But guess what happened again now? Jamaica and its voters are more smarter
than before.
They are more wiser than before. We are watching the great USA. Remember, we are watching the great USA and the last election. You notice Canada. When Canada see what how it happen, you see what they do? We are not stupid.
Yes.
We are not stupid because right now, we are not going to sit and say, boy, everything is perfect. But listen to me. We are at a place where we are on our way.
And what I find kind of surprising in a bit is that despite the poll showing that Andrew Wallace is ahead of Mark Golding, the same poll, people are reluctant to say why he deserves a third term.
Yes, because third term in any election, second and third term, it's very hard to come by.
Because after time, people just want a change.
Yes, but you know what? You see, if it wasn't for Mark Golding and his risers cults, Andrew would have gotten up. Andrew, the PNP would have way ahead in the poll.
That is a popular sentiment among people on the ground.
But we are sitting and wondering and watching and say, wait the man. Then if them in a opposition with them, your type of behavior, what the hell if we give them state power? More or less when we sit and look and we wonder who would be our government ministers.
And when
we look, we not see nothing. That's where we would have choose from. Because all we see is Mark Golding with him bands as kettle them back at him with Dayton Campbell. The big mama will get up and cuss off every. Look at what Dayton Campbell did to Paula Llewellyn.
Oh, yeah.
Look at what Dayton did to Paula Llewellyn. You wonder if Dayton born from a woman.
Well.
Right? Peter Bunting again get up and one type of the desperate. I am so afraid of them and their desperado behavior. They have this desperado behavior like there is this will where the Jamaican people will the country to them, and if them not run the country, if country stand still. When me hear Mark Golding turn up in a hero's circle and I say, him is the one that going to lead us in a good governance. Like really, Mark Golding? No, we don't hear nothing about the KSSC where the mayor grill up and jail up taxpayer money for PNP supporters, them and Batman. No, we don't hear a word about it. Mark Golding not say I think Mark Golding said it is okay. Steve McGregor in the PNP office, then catch with much box of bleaching cream, illegal bleaching cream. We come from war. Not a word from Mark Golding. But yet Mark Golding not talk about integrity. A lot more. So I hope we at the integrity of the only one side. And Mark Golding leading a different type of integrity from the standard. And you know what? You know what? Not one of those righteous civil society group come out and say a word by neither the bleaching cream, neither what happened with the mayor and in grill up and gel up. Not even one of the righteous civil society come out and say a word. None. When Mark Golding disrespect Michelle Charles, not one of them say a word.
And I don't
not
see
one.
And I did not see nowhere Dr. Charles this Fenton Ferguson. I did not see it.
No.
I watched it over and over and I tried to see where. Matter of fact,
And I am searching.
She brought him on stage and said you were here at the groundbreaking. And they have like a chit chat about the whole groundbreaking and they have like a nice rapper on stage. I did not see any disrespect met out to Dr. Ferguson by Dr. Charles. I did not see it.
But Mark Golding have this tendency, Mr. Thompson, I don't know if you're picking it up, to walk and think him above and him better than every Jamaican, him better than we.
Oh.
Because we are from the bowels of the slaves, and Mark Golding believe that in Bakra Master style must still him is above us. That's what Mark Golding believe, and I'm picking it up.
Well, everything will be decided when Mr. Man
when an election is called.
Call the date, yes, we'll know exactly where people stands. We know exactly where people stand. Election day.
What I notice and pick up with Mark Golding again, I don't know if you're picking it up. There's no function in Jamaica Mark Golding see fit to attend. He either sick or lame or disfigured. He never can go on. No function, nothing pertaining to Jamaica. Mark Golding have no interest in it. At the same time, I remember it was a independent, and Mark Golding left we and the Bahamas. Then, but yet you say you want to run Jamaica, you want to be the leader of Jamaica, but you know even the youth award the other day, the Prime Minister's Youth Award, Mark Golding never see it fit to even show up for the young people there. Labor Day, Mark Golding not see it fit to even show up for the although me hear that Mark Golding cannot turn up in a sun long or else he start melt. I don't know how true it is.
No, that's like a room. That can't melt. That is going too far.
No, but that's what I heard, that he cannot manage his son. And I was wondering yesterday if that is true, because I see them with umbrella over and head over Eros Park.
No man. That was Al Rain was falling.
Right?
No, there was a slight drizzle.
I would want you to find out from me why there's no events in Jamaica that is of interest to the nation. Him cannot show up.
I'm going to find out. But this part about the poll now, they kind of catch me away, because I heard people talk about the poll and the question were so stupid and fool question they might ask.
Mr. Thompson, I have no reason to lie.
No. I know. I believe because I heard it before. But
let me tell you something.
You know who was the actual poster.
Look here.
The point.
It's a Saturday. That's when the guy come and do the poll. Me ask the pollster, I said to him, what kind of question? The man said, look at me myself. He said, we ourselves. I wonder, but miss, we get a job to do. And we are just, him say, look here, these are the questions. Me no put none, me no take off none, me no add on any.
And again, I don't want people start to interpret it as in a PNP campaign. Right? Is the pollster and PNP is the client. That's just
I said to him, you sure somebody from market research going to call me, because we need to put these questions to him? Say, yes, look out for a call. They're supposed to call you. And I can't wait for them call, because I am putting these questions to them. And I am waiting to see when the poll results them come on TV, the question them when me see them put up. Because the same question when they ask me, them me want to up on TV. The same time come question them, and them they work with. Because of them, they ask me.
Wow.
So you can't ask me about time come and don't put up come time. Time come, you ask me about time come, me want to see.
So you say, every question having the phrase time come.
Every question having time coming in somewhere, either in the middle, the front, or the back.
And you can't remember often any one question. Often you can remember even one. Apart from the boisterous and the rare and the calm and the noisy. No.
No, honestly,
That
because
was really a poor question.
I said to the guy, I said, can I record? Because believe me, I saw when I did one record because I did one record if you play. Because fear people not believe me. I did one record if you play.
No, someone posted something online about the question or the question was so stupid. It was posted online. About you like on the party jingle, you like the party song, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what that poll? The party jingle, the party song.
Yes. They asked about the party jingles, the party song. Which one you like more? Right? They asked you about if it's time, if time come for change. Those are the questions that they asked. So I asked the guy, time come for change to what? Because if suppose I was a labor right then, and you said time come for change, you have to tell me when you change to show me.
Yeah.
Put out your stock. Put out your stock on the table so me can put the two stock together and choose. Nobody can blind my eye and can tell me about time. Come here, married woman, you can't blind and fool me.
And again, no, Jamaica's third parties and making no impact at all. Not one that the third party.
None at all. UIC, I don't know why, but
UIC made a little impact during the COVID-19 era, but after COVID, they and their members had some fallout and running, and the party lose a lot of rounds. I tell you, the NDM set me never dare move. Stagnant.
I tell you this, you know. I tell you, say my husband look for me, and him said to me, look here. Him say, you think we are saying nothing? We not say nothing, you know. We not say nothing because Peter Phillips did them do it to Peter Phillips and mash we up in a 2020. Him say in a 2020, you know, if we even lose, we wouldn't lose so bad. But these are the same men that take we down to tear we down, dismantle the party. And them are the same man now. We get up. He said what him sit down and look on is them want to wipe out everybody when it support Peter Phillips. Yeah, and load the party with Rise United.
That's a common sentiment going around now among PNP fraction. What are they? You see, your husband is a PNP activist now.
My husband is a PNP activist.
So based on what the feedback you get from him now, it's like you said, less PNP planning to vote for PNP this time around.
You know, let me tell you, so the man, then call him for the protest.
I'm saying not going.
Him saying not going. Him say, look here, he said not going. Because him say, why look pan and see, it's not that like he wouldn't want to protest. But him say, why look pan and see is that golden leg risers. The part where they depend, it is no winning strategy they are on. Because the man say, when he look and see what they attack, Dennis, he no call for.
I mean, Dennis Strong.
Yes, the man said them for them party at the first one. Me not even didn't say Dennis Strong. I did some of the way I did PNP first.
No,
employing in a government.
No, it was contracted to head the Salaries MSW.
My husband tell me say under Portia.
Yeah,
under Portia them. Yes.
Yeah,
that's what my husband tell me. And him say, look here, him say, oh Tobias. That the brother that no brother where you can push on. He says a brother will hold it on and him don't know if Dennis and neither PNP nor Liberty. No Dennis going and doing work.
His political affiliation is not known.
Yes. Him saying tell them from them because I something with them not planning up. And he saying tell them say look you love him man. Not depend that. Make we do what we are do, but low the man. Because you cannot just get up and just tear down people are going because. And the man saying, tell them, say, it just now work, and the people them still up on the same part of one.
So they're on this low trajectory, and that I don't want to change.
Yes. Because him say from when them start attack Andrew, now when they attack, and when he look and he say Andrew popularity in the poll, instead of going down, the man fly him and say, boy, look here, this we have to go find other way out.
Yeah, but it's shocking to me that the PNP has been on the road for about 2 years now.
4 years now, then the on the road of one of the articles.
Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers for the party leader. February 27th, February last year, it was 27%, right?
Yes.
September, it go up to 30.
Yes.
February this year, it come down to 25. I know May, it got back to 30. It a fluctuate.
Let me
Look at that.
Let me tell you.
Andrew know from last year, February, it was 37%. It go up to 39. September last year. February this year, it comes 37, and it got up to 42%. So, despite PP on the road more, and the numbers keep going up.
You know when my husband tell me, say I laugh till I cry when the man said to me, say, look here, they are trying to see if me can't even like Mark Colin, but boy, it's hard.
No, that's serious.
I laugh till I cry. The man said, look here. Instead of them try to see if they can put the best, but them try to see if they can like him, but him say just hard.
Jesus,
the man
no.
just hard.
That is serious. I mean, if you're a party leader.
Him say most of the time they are trying to, to see if they can just come together for the betterment of the party. But to the head, it just not happen. It just cannot, because him say Mark Golden is just like, it just cannot.
And it's coming from a party, inside a party, activist.
Look here, the man. I don't want to call in here because no. You understand?
Don't say it's a PNP activist.
Yes.
And a PNP worker. A PNP worker.
And they are very, yes.
But
don't
call him.
They said the man said to me, he's saying just sit down and wait upon them, because he's saying no, said them are going to lose the election. But he said the reason why whole it more of them not come out is that they don't want nobody to say at them come starting fighting. Why they lost. So they said they not say nothing, they just kick back and watch because they know where I go come.
This is serious. Right. Wow, this is serious. So
right. Man said they know where I go come.
Oh, Jamaicans are here though. This is I hope no. When coming from someone.
My husband looked at me and said to me, he said, look here, look on the general secretary. The man not even 40 years old, look on him good. Stress and depression are lick him down because they confused, they don't know where to turn. Because him said the party now this is that. And it's so cunning, you don't know him move.
Right.
And that's the danger lies ahead.
I think Andrew is playing the polls.
Look here. He said, look here. Mark Golden is no match. He said Golden is no match for Andrew when Andrew step up the campaign.
Wow, and this comes from a PNP worker. PNP insider.
Look here, my husband, a political activist to PNP.
And he's saying that Andrew is hard, you're going to make a win election.
A man say, look here, man. He said, let me tell you something, man. The same Andrew yesterday. Him say, tell them, Him tell them, say, member say, Asiaga bring Andrew.
Yeah.
And him say, all where you go and then notice, say, not a word from Andrew. You cannot know Andrew next move. And he said, that's the problem.
As a matter of fact, Andrew will send a proposal to PJ Patterson and they get a response. He said to Asiaga send call him.
All right.
The rest is history.
Right? Because Iman say right now, you know, my husband said to me, my husband said, man, when him look and see we're going over Montego Bay Sunday night, And when he look and he see the people, them get up and shout, Andrew, 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 and the whole place lift, and he see the man just quiet and listen. He remind him of Michael Manley.
Wow. Well, we see that in Jamaica over there that Andrew only sometimes he behave like Michael Manley, for true. We say it, you know,
right?
we keep on saying that over the years.
The man say, man, then shame in a way that sometimes when Mark holding up in him up because he don't even can pronounce the word them properly.
Andrew name is Andrew Michael Holness.
He said he don't even, man, he just give it and he just a fumble and he said them a try with him, not them a try, but boy, everybody have to just fight for themselves. Because if they don't fight, help up close because and unlike you don't say you have a leader where you can't depend say him okay. You can't carry nobody no way.
Whoa.
Right? You can't carry you no way. You have to just lean for yourself. A dead weight. The people and the party where you see come to listen to me, when me I tell you no doggy, me I tell you from inside, me tell you say my husband an activist. Me I tell you from inside. Him know me never in the voting thing. Him not like when me say, if me a vote for Labour. Him not like it because him a say, why that easier? All of a sudden, why me not just stand home with the tank because me never want whatever. But deep down when me sit down, I don't like people go along with, and as far as when me see, it get me because me I say, these people operating as if guess what happened? If they don't get to win the election, they might go mash down Jamaica completely. And then, you know, it start up, because we have to wait there. What is really happening here? Then when you look again, you say, boy, who would farm the government? Who would be the minister of this, minister of that? Who?
Well,
we can't say Angela Brownberg.
Yeah, man. The current spokespersons. Yeah, man. The current spokespersons will be minister if PNP win the election.
Then don't you wish for? Tell me on God's earth now. We say Angela Brownberg step in and foreign style to represent us.
She be minister of foreign affairs.
She can't. Yes, and she can't even put herself to the. Come on.
Data and Damon Crawford, Minister of Education.
Lord gosh,
Minister of Education.
No, Tappy. Because nothing cannot go so.
Dr. Dayton Campbell, Minister of Agriculture.
Lord have mercy.
Dr. Alfred Dawes, Minister of Health if PNP win.
Why? Well, the only thing with Alfred Dawes want, and him no want be MP, you know, he want to be Minister of Health. So, yes.
Julian Robinson, Minister of Finance.
You don't never see that a Peter Bunting is Minister of Finance. Well, you don't know all of that. My husband tell me, say. The half have never been told. And he said, Julian, no. Him said, Julian, no exact that Peter Bunting was planning on as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance in Mark Golding-led government. He says Steve McGregor is poised to be Minister of National Security.
Well, because he have a law enforcement background.
He says Steve McGregor is poised
background.
For Minister of National Security, Peter Bunting is poised to be Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
So what role will Robinson play?
You will see the Julian Robinson one PNP, remember?
So Peter Bunting is poised to be Minister of Finance and Deputy Prime Minister.
Minister of Finance and Deputy Prime Minister.
If the PNP win.
If the PNP win.
And
Steve McGregor, Minister of National Security. But, so maybe Julian would be heading to Minister of Education or someplace if they so wish.
Just suppose election call. And the PNP don't win the election, but Peter Bunting win his seat. Could we see a reshuffle of the spokesperson, ush out Robinson and put in Bunting as official spokesperson and finance?
It's not that if we could see, that is exactly what is going to happen.
If Bunting win a seat.
Remember I told you on your program that Peter Bunting is next in line as the henchman behind Yes, he is number 2 opposition leader. Mark Golding is a placeholder for Peter Bunting. Peter Bunting is not well likable, and because of that, we don't know if he would have get. But nobody could have stopped Mark Golding from giving him the lead. If you did listen to Simsol session, Simon asked Mark Golding if he lost the election, if he lose, if he would have stepped down. Him say when he reached there, he would cross it. He never say he must stay.
All right. The last Price County election, the argument was if PNP lost the election, that would have serious implication on Mark Golding leadership. But look here now. Suppose him lose the general come when it call with the North September. You feel the PNP might ask for a replacement as party leader?
They would have asked for that, but guess what happened? The way how they set, as what my husband said to me, he said the way how the risers set it up. They set it in a way that if they lost the election and they put up a challenge, the party put up a challenge, you would have more risers to bolster Mark Golding. So they would have this resistance to stand up against the one PNP that would be coming.
But it's a reminder. I remember one time when the campaign for the PNP leadership was going on internal. I remember Dayton Campbell saying that he don't want Dr. Phillips to rise the PNP, meaning the PNP will be there and can win the election.
Yes, and yes, but what they are doing now is that the bolster, they are bolstering because they know it would be nice. It would be nice for throat. It would be nice for throat, as I tell you. My husband said, I only for PNP in the like Donna Scott Matty and all of them. Take your things so they want Mark Golding, or you think so they are not with him. But they are so afraid because they are so afraid of him because remember now, and them have the money.
Yeah.
And they set themselves away. The bully, they are this bully. They are this bully. You're talking about the bully of Bunting, Golding, and Campbell. Bully. They are the three. It's the three of them run the party.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Dr. Campbell can win a seat in Westmoreland. That'll be an interesting one. Because it lost so badly in St. Anne.
What my husband is saying to me, he says that the seat in Westmoreland, he said, I must remember that it is a PJ Patterson old seat.
Yeah.
It is a PNP strong seat. He said the swing come towards the Labour Party because this Andrew factor. But him say it is poised for it's a trope.
So
him saying don't know if going and beating, with a Dayton Campbell, but as a general secretary, Golding is pumping a lot of resource on him. Yes, him say as in right hand in back, he is pumping a lot of resources. Him say when him look, is a lot. He is spending a lot on him, and he's spending a lot of resources on him, and then you have his behind because him say even the house with Dayton Campbell they open I think it's a hotel or guest house or whatever. Him said he's having the White House area and that is where they stay at times. But him say on the ground some of the people them concerned and like they are saying, but him don't even live here and him just only catch this or pretend like what. So the people them in the Westmoreland belt too, they are them a bab and wave.
They kind of iffy.
Yes. What should we make of this man? Because if him run from in a which part him come from this or get beaten so badly and run from there and come and pretending now and telling us all quality kind of something. But my husband said again, because it is a Michael Manley
PJ
all seat. PJ all yes, PJ seat, any game can play and the Mark Golding is pushing a lot of resource on him.
All right.
So, because my husband say I right hand, because they are the one where him now are the one where dropping clothes and cuss to Mark Golding and carry on. So Mark Golding is backing him up with a lot of resource.
All
So
right.
any game can play. So
All right.
make we see me know.
All right, well, thanks for your call.
Yeah,
Thanks for your contribution as
not
usual.
a problem again, man.
Always
Not a
nice
problem.
to have you. Nice to have you
yes.
on the program.
Yes, and I am so happy for your space, which is my safe space where I can come and express myself.
Yeah, man. You're always,
so thanks again.
Always welcome.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Yes, dear. Thanks. All right.
You heard it from one of our esteemed caller here. Yeah, man. Our esteemed caller here, 1996 here, and I think we have we're gonna go to Saint Anne. I think we have a caller earlier from Saint Anne or Portland. I think it's Saint Anne or Portland. Yeah, man. And I think we're gonna see if we can get that person online here. We are live here. Earlier we spoke about the party standings earlier in the program, and also look at the protest by the People's National Party against the appointment of the FID of Dennis Chung, and also look at the Pickers Guild Committee and what it was set up to do. And in our view, we thought that the BNP is frying the GLP with their own fat. Yeah, man, based on the Pickers Guild committee. And for those who did not those who missed it, as a quick reminder what that is all about. That committee there, the Pickers Guild committee, was set up by the PNP in 1974 as a accreditation body to vet people for jobs in the public service and the civil service. And if you're not saying socialism or a comrade, you cannot get those jobs. That was back then. So come to now. So the PNP are now assuming that the appointment of Dennis Chung is politically influenced without any evidence to support that claim. So based on the past, what they know, they have experience in that committee, they're assuming that it's happening now without any proof. And when you heard from persons like William Food, he said that Dennis Chung is the most unbiased person you can think of. So we'll wait and see all this one will unfold. All right, let's see. I think we can get back. We can get back our caller here. Yeah, we was calling earlier. You're live on air. Hello, hello, you're live on air. Oh, I saw this interruption there. It said reconnecting. All right, I'll say that you're live. You're live on air. You want to go live? You say again about this reconnecting thing. Yes, it's a reconnecting. Hold on to the service here. We're going to end the program shortly. We're going almost we got almost hour and a half. Oh, that one just missed that one there. All right, and just missing that one there as we continue here inside the floor. You heard here from our esteemed caller a short while ago. Yeah, but very articulate, and she knows her stuff. And I think here. All right. All right, get back to this Kenka now. You're live.
What do you think about what the Prime Minister said platform by St. Jim? You know, St. Jim, when he was saying about him telling our labor right one
to go and protest. Yeah,
protest. Yeah.
It depends on how some people depends on how people interpret it. But I personally don't believe it was sort of instigating the kind of violence. It was to me, the people were having a protest. I want to have a counter protest. That's also how I see it, a counter protest. I don't see it as it was inciting violence.
No, but the leader for the country would approach it a bit different.
Yeah, a different way, yeah, because how I'm saying now, it could be interpreted as inside violence.
Yeah, for going up front to the PMP them now and counter, you know.
And it's in the workplace, in the markets and
People from Ghana, Jamaica, it makes sense to your put it. That wasn't a good look to me. Wasn't a good look. It's kind of risky.
Yeah, that's your point, yeah.
They take everything that they must take a foot around everything now. So Jamaicans, you know.
If it is about, if it's about, they go out there and count about keep it peaceful.
Yeah,
it will make a difference.
Yeah, put the peaceful, put the peaceful in it. Because also the PMP, certain I say, when Mark Olin says a peaceful protest, we know, and Campbell said the same.
Yeah.
It has to be peaceful. Yeah, right. So I think with the firm like that, you know.
Because there was no incident happening, clash and any violence.
Yeah, it was incident-free.
Incident-free, yeah, that's a good part. Incident-free. Although the board part was there, the colours, incident-free. That's a good part. That's a good part.
Yeah, man, at least we get kind of more civilized, you know?
Yeah.
Even though the Yankees now, you hear some shots start for your man at it's different now still.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, but I said it, but if she make a different phrase and it will come across not, it will be interpreted as that way, like say, boy, it's a possibility that he may incite violence based on how it came across in some persons. I think it's a real. Yeah. I think we just lost our call. I think it's called it. Just lost our caller there. All right, we're here now for almost 2 hours. All right, Dudley Thompson live here, looking at the party standings in both PNP and JLP. And as we said here earlier, that despite the fact that the JLP is leading in the polls, both polls, I should add, it doesn't necessarily mean that victory is assured come election day. And again, as you heard here from the caller, and her husband is a PNP activist, and he's saying that some PNP are not really want to vote, and some PNP not really in support of the leader, and she's speaking because her husband is a PNP worker, and she talked about the poll. She was polled with those stupid questions about time come and you like the party jingle, like the party song. These are like, and I said to person that don't interpret it as Dan Anderson did a PNP campaign. Dan Anderson is the pollster, and the PNP is the client, and the PNP set the questions. So don't see it as Mark Golden, don't see it as Dan Anderson did a PNP campaign. Don't get the thing twisted. So we like to get this thing. We don't come here and spread propaganda and rumor. We like to keep everything real on this platform. All right, so I think we're gonna wind down the show for today. And thanks for your company. Hope you enjoyed today's program. We have every Tuesday at this time, but we go live. And sometimes we're gonna be sports as well. Sometimes religion, because we're gonna in the very near future, we're gonna talk to a young lady. Wow. We're gonna talk about persons who is a discerner and who is a real Christian. We're going to talk to her very shortly. We're going to give some testimony of how God being good to her. Yes. And she prayed for persons, and person asked a prayer. She tell them why she can't pray for them. Shocking. Yes. And we'll have those features as well. So look out for those features. We'll go, yes, and also look out for the sports as well. I'm going to do a feature shortly on the Gold Cup. And can Jamaica become the second Caribbean team to win the CONCACAF Cup? It was called then, when Haiti won. It's now the Gold Cup. And no Caribbean team has emulated the feat achieved by Haiti in 1973. Can Jamaica do it this time around? And for the first time in Brazil history, they have a foreign coach. So these to come in other programs when we go religion and sports inside the show. All right, so we're gonna end. We come to the end of today's show again. So hope you enjoy the program. Send it to your friends, like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friend about it. We talk politics here and things affecting Jamaica. And as usual, walk good, be peaceful, loving. Say hi to your neighbor, love your neighbor as you love yourselves. and love even the enemy. It's good sometimes. Until next time, I'm done the topic saying bye bye for now until we meet again.